guys, welcome to the Uncle Talks live stream. I'm your host Peter, and basically it's time for the podcast, aka I guess we'll call it the third Monday podcast for this month because unfortunately we weren't able to do the podcast last Monday, so we're doing it this Monday. So I will join with my friend Rainier. Let me just get to that place. Okay, here we go. Hey, Rainier. Let me just see if make sure here. Hey, Rainier.
Hello.
Okay, there we go. I was like, did I went into the wrong voice chat? I'm like, where did I go? But how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
All right. I'm doing all right. Like, how's the weather on your end?
It's starting to be summer for sure. Kind of hot, but I live in the Midwest. The weather here doesn't really get that crazy outside of tornadoes.
Right.
We have like the mildest winter and like the mildest summer.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I mean, like, I think like it was funny because like in the Midwest, like I think like tornadoes is like, I guess like considered like the big natural disaster along with like everything else. Like,
exactly. Yes.
I think like on the East Coast we didn't have to worry about tornadoes as much until we faced it. Like I think it was like maybe like 20 years ago we were starting to see like tornadoes happen in our area. Like not near like where I live, but like probably in my state. And I was like, we get tornadoes here now? And like like everyone's, it's like basically experiencing snow in the South. Like no one's prepared for that.
Yep. Like that one couple years back when Texas got it, and there were so many car accidents and stuff.
Oh yeah, because they were not prepared for that.
Yeah.
Like it's actually kind of crazy like how the weather's like changing, because like this week I think it's supposed to be all rain, and like unfortunately I wasn't able to like mow the lawn last week, and I'm like, oh my god, the lawn's gonna grow much higher and there are gonna be more weeds in the garden, and I'm like, oh you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you live in an apartment, right?
I do.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about tending to the lawn.
Nope.
I have to.
That's one of the advantages of renting.
Yeah. I basically have to tend the lawn for my dad because unfortunately he's not able to like push the lawnmower as much as he could.
How frequent do you have to tend it?
If it's like summer weather, I have to do it like at least every week, like once a week.
Every week? Once a week?
Yeah, I usually do it once a week. Like, I mean, like, I usually do it once a week because like I don't really use what do you call it? A bag for the lawnmower so that the grass doesn't go into a bag. I usually cut it before the mulch before it gets too high, because if it gets too high, the mulch starts to gather on the grass and I have to go on the lawn twice just to get rid of the mulch or just to cut it up so it doesn't create dead grass, basically.
Interesting.
I mean, if anyone, like, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, like, and I don't know that much about lawn care, so like if I'm wrong about that, please put it in the comments down below, or if you're in the chat, please like, you know, put it in the chat and correct me if I'm wrong about lawn care, you know, that sort of thing.
I used to have a former coworker who had a landscaping, like his own small business, and he did it for other people essentially. Yeah. Like,
and thanks for the resub Tons multi-party, the third party for the greens.
Oh yeah. I mean.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You know, I was just gonna joke something about like how we it's now the third Monday of the because we got delayed last week.
Yeah, like basically, like again, guys, apologies for not making our second Monday schedule. Like as you probably, if you guys have watched the previous podcast, our friend John was also on our podcast. It was basically because of him that we missed like the last week. I decided to cancel because he obviously wasn't NJ like during that week, and like, you know, I just wanted to see him during that time. So, you know, I guess a lot of my friends would say blame John.
Well, did you Did you guys have a good time?
Oh yeah, we did. We went to a barbecue place and we like a barbecue place I haven't been to. The portions were like really big, so it's like if you wanted to buy like a whole platter, it's like Texas style platter. It was, but we didn't get that. Like I think it cost like $100 to get that type of platter. Like, you know.
Wait, tell me the name of the establishment. I'll look it up online.
I think it's called Addie's Barbecue. I think that's what it's called.
Barbecue.
Yeah. Like I think like their whole meat platter is like $100. It's like a lot of meat. A lot of meat.
Oh. Oh, never mind. It's a wrong Hatties. I'm trying to look it up in Google Maps, but barbecue is like the biggest food culture here, at least in my city. In the Midwest.
I kind of figured, yeah, because I think more of like the Midwest and like down south barbecue is like a big, huge thing.
Right. It's like, I guess it makes sense. There's a ton of ranch and like, you know, farmland around me.
Oh yeah, and it's a good way to bond with family or like have a party. It's like basically have a barbecue, like eat out.
Well, it's kind of like the I guess if you think of New England, I guess I think of like clam chowder and fresh seafood, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, for us it's like barbecue.
I see. I mean, that's how it. I think like that's how it varies. Like with every state, there's like a different type of dish or different types of cooking methods. So you know, like island nations, you would expect them to have more fish, whilst it's like
Right.
I think like more like farmland, you would expect them to have like more meat and more eggs and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm not really a big fish person, but
Yeah.
like last 2 weeks ago, I ate like the freshest fish when I was in Alaska because I actually went on a vacation up there.
Yeah.
And it was so good. It was like fresh salmon and halibut,
Oh.
which is I guess is my first time eating halibut. It tastes so good.
Oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
usually for me, I'm like with food, it's like if it looks like the same as like common food, I don't even know if it's like rare or not. I'm like the guy that basically has no for fine taste buds. Like I would probably like the only time I would probably know if it's fancy food or if it's like food that's like much rarer than like I guess the common like say like tuna or something is if I was in a restaurant and I had to dress up. That's the only time I would know it's fancy food. The other times, like if you just serve it to me, it's like this is the most expensive caviar you will ever taste, and I'm like, dude, it just looks like regular fish eggs.
Well, you probably eat a variety of fish in like sushi, I guess. Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
eat sushi a lot?
Yeah, I do. Not a lot, but you know, like I've had my share of like, you know, I guess common people sushi.
Well,
Like-
I can only do the rolls.
Yeah.
Can you do the bigger ones where there's like a big fish on top of the rice? I cannot do that one.
Oh, what is it? Sashimi.
They call it like
Is it-
sashimi, yes, but it's nigiri.
Oh yeah, it's mainly like nigiri. Yeah, yeah, I can handle that.
I cannot. I think
Dude,
it's like
Really?
too big of a fish portion. And
Really?
It's just like yeah,
So
it's
I guess
overpowering.
pure sashimi you can't do it.
Oh, absolutely not. No, I hate sashimi.
Oh dang. I feel like that's like the real sushi experience for me because it's like there's no rice, it's just literally just pure fish.
Yeah, no, yeah. Sashimi is just so overpowering, but I guess I'm not a fish person to begin with, so it's like
No, that makes
and
sense.
Raw, you know, like I have texture when it comes to raw things. I cannot. Like I can't do raw egg, for example. You know.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, like, I think like the only place I would probably trust to eat a raw egg is in Japan because they have such a high standard
Right.
for eggs. Like, but in the U.S., I'm like, forget it. No way. I'm not eating a raw
That's
egg.
why we have to like refrigerate our eggs over here.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Because like, I think like when you look at other countries like health standards, it's like the same thing as how we look at different states have different laws on different like health standards for their own. I think. So like I think like that depends on like what standards you have for like food.
So the only downside, though, to my impression, is that like fish here that's to be served in sushi, for example, in the
Yeah.
United States have to be frozen at least like 24 hours or something
Uh-huh.
to deal with like the parasites and all the other germs. In
That's fair, yeah.
Japan, they don't have similar
Standards?
like regulations. Yeah, so like
Yeah.
in a sense, you can eat like really fresh sushi in Japan, but
Mhm.
you're more at risk when it comes to those kind of parasites, and you're at the discretion of like the cook essentially to spot those kind of things.
That's fair. I mean, like,
The chef, rather.
I think it's because of the tradition they don't make like standards on that. It's like we've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
I'm pretty sure like
uh
probably tastes different
yeah,
once you freeze it. I don't
yeah.
know, but that's
Well, I mean, like, basically, like, it depends on the chef, like you said. So it's like, I've been doing this for many years, and it's like, I know what bad sushi looks like. I know what good
yeah.
sushi is like, you know. But I think that's why, like, you know, in Japan, there's, like, a big tradition on, like, passing on, like, the knowledge to the next generation.
The
On, like,
business, the family business.
yeah, like, the family business and, like, you know, the knowledge from, like, you know, the experience. But I think it's, like, also I think it's also cool that like some older generations don't feel like, oh, I don't want to put that pressure on my kid because I want them to like live life the way they want to, which is like I think like whenever I watch at videos about Japan and like old businesses, it seems like the older generation doesn't want to pressure the younger generation to take over the family business. And like sometimes I would see like the younger son or like the middle child like, you know what, I'm gonna actually take over for like mom's business or dad's business or grandma's business, you know. It's like they choose on their own volition.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty cool because usually with like Asian countries you would expect them to like continue the generation of the business within the family.
I saw a like a YouTube it's called Asian Boss. They do like top.
Oh yeah, I watched that. I watched them too. Yeah.
They're really good, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I just saw recently something about the small businesses in Japan that are like closing.
Oh yeah,
essentially.
because there's not enough people taking over
There's-
the businesses.
Yeah, exactly. There's not enough people to like pass on the business, and so
Yeah.
the owners are like retiring with no one to pass it to.
Yeah.
Even though they're in the they're profitable, right? Like they're in
Yeah.
the black, and
Yeah.
yet they're still closing because
Yeah.
it's quite sad.
I mean that's quite unfortunate. It's mostly like mom and pops places,
Right.
and that
Which
usually is the bedrock of a community.
which also ties into like their like low birth rate kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not enough kids to kind of like
Yeah.
be the next generation. It's just
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's
social
kind of
phenomenon.
kind of funny and ironic. It's like basically like they have like I guess like jobs there, but like they just don't have a lot of like younger generation to take over the jobs. But yet here, like in the West, we are lacking jobs, and yet we have
Yeah.
more kids. So, like in times like this, I kept feeling
Right.
like maybe this will evolve us into a more diverse world where like people from the West is like, you know, like how people in the East they used to come over to the West to get more work because there was more opportunities. Now it's sort of like the opposite, and it's kind of like ironic. It's like there's a lot of jobs in the East, but you're gonna have to move east to get the opportunities.
To be fair though, it's not like America has a pretty big birth rate either.
Yeah.
We are still under the 2-point replacement. I just looked up the statistics on it. So Japan is at 1.26, and then we're at 1.66 births per woman. It's just that like we have a ton of immigration to fill in the the ramifications of having a low birth rate.
Right.
Whereas Japan is just now slowly kind of accepting immigration to fill in,
Yeah.
especially like their lower work, they're like the jobs that are typically for like high schoolers or summer jobs kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like kombinis and yoshinoyas and stuff like that. You'll probably notice a lot more foreign workers
Yeah.
nowadays.
And the surprising fact is like if you guys don't know, Japan's education, mandatory education is up to middle school. You literally don't have to take high school to fulfill education requirements, which is pretty crazy because you would think that because Japan is like I guess like the third biggest economy in the world. Are they the third still, or have they dropped?
Probably around there.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah, because like usually like most people like that know about Asian cultures know how they emphasize education. So it's really surprising to me. Yeah, it's really surprising to me how like basically they only have to take up to middle school knowledge to fulfill like education requirement, and then basically they don't have to take high school and they can immediately start working.
Well, I don't feel like they also they don't have a big college culture either, as you know, America does. Oh, sorry, the college culture where it's like, oh, send your kids to college kind of deal.
Yeah.
Japan doesn't feel like that. They don't have that same emphasis on college.
Yeah.
That's just my impression. Obviously, I don't know. I've never lived there, but
yeah, and I think I heard that basically college education is much. I wouldn't say it's much easier, but it's less taxing than basically the the entrance exams. Like basically the entrance exams is the hardest part, but once you get in, you basically are able to like do more with your time as a college student. Like, you know, obviously you still have assignments and stuff, but it's more like you have to do it. You're able to do it at your own pace, if that makes any sense. Because I think a lot of like Japanese students that I've talked to, they've said that college is basically it's basically a lot easier than say studying for your entrance exams, as far as I'm aware of.
yeah, it's almost like the fight is on getting into college. Once you're in college,
yeah,
it's a lot more of a breeze.
Yeah. I mean, like getting back to like thinking about like Japan and all that stuff. I've been like looking at like basically the anime lineup for like next season.
Yeah.
Like I think there's gonna be like a couple of like season 2s and all that stuff coming out, and then I began to think about stories, and like I noticed that a lot of like anime that are starting to come out now are like ones that are not made from manga or light novel from Japan, but like from manhwa. And from like like China and like from like I think like Chinese like stories, and I then began to think about, you know, like what makes a story so captivating that even Japanese animators, or at least a Japanese animation company, would basically say, hey, let's make an anime of this. Like, you know,
I do think it's probably a breath of fresh air for them.
Yeah.
It's more like you have a unique setting, you have a unique set of characters.
Yeah.
So that's what I would think so. But yeah, it is definitely a correct observation where it's like, yeah, you're getting a lot more like Solo Leveling, which is one of the biggest one, right? Like it's a manhwa based.
Yeah. I mean, like I think it's still like I think in it won the awards for best anime of the year.
For Crunchyroll, that is.
Yeah, for Crunchyroll.
It's kind of controversial, because wow.
Yeah. I was like, wow, you know, like, I mean, for Solo Leveling to even make it on the list, I'm like, wow. But I'm not surprised they won it, but at the same time, I'm like, is Solo Leveling gonna be, like, say, like, the DBZ of this generation, in some ways?
So far, we don't know yet, right?
Yeah.
Because it could be Demon Slayer being that, or Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Which I think are way more popular than Solo Leveling. But
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting how it got picked. Like.
Yeah.
I don't understand. You know.
I mean, like, I think with anime, like, I'm also like glad that some people that were into anime are now starting to like do things like, you know, I think some people are starting to get into the light novel genre. And they're even trying to create their own light novels, because like now I think there's like a website, I forgot the name of the website, but you can post your light novel on it, and basically like it's sort of like you're posting your light novel up there to basically see if it gets a lot of readership. And I think that website will basically like allow like new creators to actually put in their stuff, which I think is really cool.
Interesting. But it's kind of like parallel to how you have like the website for fictional stuff, or fan fiction rather.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess this is for like original works.
I
Yeah.
forgot the name of the website. I think it was fanfiction.com, where people
Yeah,
post their
something like that.
fan
Well,
fiction.
I
forgot
remember
about
a
that
long
site.
time ago when I was in high school. I used to like read some stories there, particularly
Yeah.
Harry Potter fan fictions and
Oh
like
yeah,
Golden Sun fan fictions.
I think I would have loved reading like Detective Conan fan fiction from there.
Yeah.
And like, I began to think about the stories that I would make up in my head like a lot, and it's usually when I'm listening to music, especially Japanese music. Like I remember when I would tell you about the stories that I would have in my head, but I never wrote them because I was just like never great at writing. It's funny, guys. Like I was an English major, but I'm not great at writing.
I forget that you're an English major. I swear, because you're
Yeah.
like always on to physics and math. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're a physics major? I forget.
Yeah. So like, actually, I was listening to it was a song by I think her name was Miki Nakashima, and the song is called Resistance. And like the reason why I know this song is because like I watched I think it was like a drama that basically is sort of an episodic drama where it's like about 4 different women and they experience different types of stories, but they're all like romance stories. So like I think one of the girls is a streamer, another girl is like basically dealing with problems at home. It's basically like 4 girls and they have their own individual stories, like completely separated from one another. All right. And like when I heard this song, the ending theme, like it's called Resistance by Miki Nakashima, I think that's her name. And when I listened to this song, I began to think about like creating a story. Like for some reason, I was thinking about like how I came to the like I was on social media one time, and then basically like for somehow like my ex's profile came up, and then I saw like a picture of her being married to someone. And then, like, I thought of, like, this one story idea where it's, like, the main guy basically experiences that. He experiences that one moment, and he starts to feel, like, obviously, like, the loneliness hits. And then, basically, like, it's, like, obviously, this is not gonna make sense, guys. Like, this is basically a story, like, that just came up in my head. And I always think of it whenever I listen to the song. Basically, the guy basically meets his aunt. And his aunt basically, I keep saying basically, the aunt sees that he's lonely, and the aunt somehow connects him with a job opportunity, which is he has to be Cupid. And what happens is that there's something called a Cupid affinity, and the way they make love go around, the reason why Cupid exists, right, is for Cupid to basically spread romance so that everyone gets with their significant other or whatever, right? And what happens is that since he's being Cupid, he has to make sure that the people that are destined to be together or whatever have you, or like, you know, meant to be a romantic fling or romantic like matrimony, whatever. They have to do something that involves being involved in that person's life. So each Cupid, like, there's gotta be more than just him, right? So there's like many Cupids, and his Cupid affinity. Some people's Cupid affinity is like, oh, they become the wingman for the person that they meet, and then the person that they meet, they just hook up with the person that they see as the potential romance of the person that they're talking to, right? Like, you know, be the wingman or be the best friend of the person that they're talking to. But the main character's Cupid affinity, or his Cupid ability, we'll call it that, is that he has to get into a relationship with the person that he's talking to, a romantic relationship, so that it's mutual.
Oh, okay.
But then he has to break up with them so that they can actually be married to the person that they're meant to be with.
What? That's almost like a trial relationship before they can go ahead and...
Yeah, so basically... Yeah, so the whole entire story is just basically him just romancing, like, different women, but he knows that they're gonna end up with someone else.
Oh,
but he still has to be attached to them anyway. And in the story, I was like, okay, so there's got to be a point, since this is quote unquote, I guess, a romance story, who is he going to end up with actually? And the main female, the main heroine, her Cupid affinity is that she has to be best friends with the guy that she's talking to, so that the guy that she's crushing on ends up getting together with the best friend of the girl who's being the Cupid. Does that make sense?
Say that again. Hold on. So
yeah, it's I didn't phrase it. I didn't phrase it right. So the heroine's affinity, like basically, she has to be best friends with like a woman best friend, right?
okay.
So she's best friends with the woman best friend. Like, she was there whenever they're like down or whenever they needed someone, and they like become besties, right? The problem is that the next man that the Cupid woman has a crush on, she knows that that's going to be the destined man for her best friend.
For the best friend, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
so I saw like almost like a matchmaking, almost like, hey.
Yeah, it's
I know
literally
who
a
you're gonna
matchmaking.
End up being with.
But the problem is that she, like the main heroine, has to develop a crush on the guy first.
That's crazy.
So she has to actually develop feelings for this guy first, and then match them with her best friend.
No, tragic.
So it's a pretty like weird thing, and I was like, dang, this is a weird type of story. but they treat the Cupids treat it as if they're like part of a business. So it's sort of like, like the Cupids would meet up in one building or something like that. There was like even a point where I made up a character who was a therapist, and every person that comes to him like for therapy would leave and then immediately meet their significant other.
Wow, okay.
So it was just weird. It felt like Death Note, but for romance, and it was just so freaking funny. And I was like, what kind of story am I making up in my head here? It was just like, I make up so many stories, and I tell Rainer about this, but I never write them because it's like, I know I'm very terrible at writing dialogue and like creating like dynamics, and I don't want my characters to face like conflict. I'm just not cruel. I'm just not cruel as a writer, so I can't.
Oh, you get attached to your characters?
I get it. No, it's just that when I build characters, I want them to succeed, but I know as a writer, you have to make them go through the worst crap just so they can develop. The only way I could probably have these stories be written is if I hired a ghostwriter to do it for me.
There is a old movie called Stranger Than Fiction.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Is that the one with what was it? Samuel Jackson?
No, Stranger Than Fiction. I think it's like Will Ferrell or something. I don't remember.
Oh,
but it's like
I think I know what
his
movie
crazy life.
Yeah.
He like discovered that it was like a story written by this lady.
Uh-huh.
And whatever the lady writes, it becomes his life.
Oh yeah, I know what this story is about. I've seen this.
Yeah.
Big
I was like
Pup.
in the 2000s or something.
Hey, Big Pup, how's it going? Sorry, I didn't see your message there. Would you say that we're near the limit of our power? Would like to produce. Oh, is this what you want us to talk about, Big Pup? So according to Big Pup, I basically put I for the question of the day. He always answers question of the day. He asks, like, would you say we are near the limit of our power, like what we can produce here on Earth, or do you think that there's more ways for us to produce even more power here on Earth? I think we still have a lot of ways to go before we actually like achieve
power, like electricity, that kind of stuff.
No, I think anything, like new discoveries, new ways of in revolutionizing technology or AI or whatever. But in my personal opinion, I think the sky's the limit for us on Earth, because we haven't fully utilized the Earth yet.
There's still more, I think. Yeah. I think we're only in the middle of like technological revolutions in general.
Yeah.
There is eventually like a physical limit, like for example, like how small nanometers can like transistors get, for like semiconductors.
Yeah,
There's a physical limit there, but I don't think we have hit the rock bottom yet. There's still more advancements to do.
And
it's just that, of course, it's getting harder and harder and harder to like make breakthroughs and
carbon nanotubes. I think they're gonna be like a big, huge step for like people that are building like machines and stuff. So don't sell us short on Earth. That's what I'm saying.
And then we're still like researching fusion reactors or fission reactors.
Oh yeah. When we actually have nuclear fusion, that's gonna be like, wow, everyone's gonna be like, wow, we're getting so much power, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be a long way to go, though. I mean...
cancer research and like research and stuff. That's the last wave.
The last thing I heard about like cancer research, I think I watched a podcast with Kathy Wood. If you guys are not familiar with Kathy Wood, she's like she's the CEO of ARK Invest, and like her company basically invests in technology that's way ahead of its time. And according to her, I think I don't remember what company it was, but apparently cancer research has gotten so advanced that we were able to like get the blood sample of someone on I think on the first trial, and we would know that they would have like stage 1 cancer, I think.
Wow, so blood markers essentially.
Yeah, I think like blood markers or something like that. Like, I'm just paraphrasing, but I think that's what she said, but don't quote me on that. But I think it was like something like that. And also there's like I forgot what they call them. They're like special helicopters, but they're not helicopters, but they're like drones, but drones big enough to carry people. I forgot what they're called. I think they're called like something. Let me see. Because they're like supposed to be drones, but they're meant to be flying people.
Okay.
Let's see.
I've never heard of them.
Let me see. People drone. I think it was like people-sized drones. I think they're called like E-pods or something like that. Like, let me look it up for you guys because I don't want to get the terminology wrong. Self-driving. I think I'll just write helicopter taxis. Maybe that might give us eVTOLs. That's what they're called, eVTOLs. So if you guys are not, so if you guys are not familiar with eVTOLs, oh, thank you for the look, Big Pup. So if you guys are not familiar with eVTOLs are just basically like, think of a drone, but it's basically carrying people instead of just flying by someone like remotely. I mean, like, it's self-driving too, but it's literally a drone, but it's like helicopter size. So it can fly. So it can fly people, and like I think there's like one company that I think ARK Invest is invested in. I don't know the name of the company, but like they're specialized in like eVTOLs, and eVTOLs are, and also this company is also connected with the Defense Department, so of the U.S. So they actually have eVTOLs for the military too. So, you know, according to ARK Invest, they're gonna be like, you know, probably popping in the future. But I think the thing that surprised me most was when she said, when Kathy Wood said that Tesla will probably be like the biggest AI play, which I'm very surprised about, because we usually think of Tesla as, Tesla. She thinks that Tesla is gonna be like an AI play.
What?
Like, yeah, that's her prediction. And I was like, but how? Like, you know, because like I was the same I had the same reaction as you, because it's like they're only known for like you know, SpaceX and electric cars. Like, how can they be involved with AI? And she basically said, well, we're gonna have like self-driving cars, and they're actually gonna test the self-driving taxis in Texas, like I think literally this month.
Don't they already have like Waymos, for example, that are like more self-driving? Yeah,
they do, and I think like I forgot exactly what she predicted, but I think according to her, Tesla is basically building a system that actually makes it more inclined for like AI, I guess AI adaptation. I think that's what she predicts. I think she basically thinks that, according to what Tesla's been putting out, I think like she sees the framework of like an AI framework that Tesla's making, and I think that's why she thinks that it's going to be an AI play. But you know, like, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, put it in the comments down below if you think like basically what I'm saying is completely like wrong. I'll accept that, because like I'm just going by for what I've seen, like based on like YouTube videos that pique my interest, you know. But you know, I am optimistic about the future, so I think we're gonna live in a very cool future. But also, like, people were worried about like AI taking their jobs and stuff, so I also understand that argument too.
Right.
Because the last thing people want is like, what is it? I think it was the plot of Metal Gear Solid, where like there was no government and AI ran everything. Like one of my best friends told me about it. Apparently, like in Metal Gear Solid, and if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you can put it in the comments down below if I'm wrong or anything. I'm just summarizing it from what I heard from my best friend. Is that AI basically takes over the government. There is Congress and stuff, but they're totally powerless because there's like AI that's supposed to replicate the founding fathers, like George Washington, like Benjamin Franklin, and all that stuff, and they dictate everything that goes on within the U.S. government because they're AIs and not politicians. So they're, quote unquote, they're not technically driven by greed or anything. They're just doing they're just doing it to make the system work.
Yeah.
I mean, have you played that game? Because I've never played it.
No, I haven't. I just hear people like talk about it.
Yeah.
Much like Legends of Zelda is another game that's like everyone talks about, but I've never played.
I mean, like for me, like even though I knew about Zelda, I never played it.
I did play Game Boy, Oracle of Ages and Time, or Ages and Season or something like that.
Like with me, like whenever I played games, I would only get the games that had the like basically based off the cartoons I watched. I never really bought a game for a game's sake, except like I think the only game I bought that was basically for game's sake was Crash Bandicoot. I think other games I had, they were just basically either hand-me-downs from my dad because he bought the PlayStation before I knew what a PlayStation was. And I started playing the PlayStation, and like before I knew it, his PlayStation became mine because I was playing on it. And I think like the only game I ever played was like Crash Bandicoot that I remembered that was basically just for playing a video game, not really for because it's based on something from television I watched.
Okay. So you're not like a gamer per se, as far as like.
I wasn't a really hardcore gamer, to be honest with you. In fact, like now, like I guess my gaming, the games that I play, they're all they all have an anime aesthetic. Like for me, it's like there were some games that I did play that did not have it. Like I think it was called Quantum Break. That was actually like made like a movie. So when I played it, like I really liked the story in it. And plus, I think it made me feel as if I was playing, like, I guess, a legit game, in that sense. Like, I guess, it's funny because, like, games that mostly, like, gamers play, they know about, that's not based off a movie or a story or a book or, like, a show, I would consider them normie games. because like obviously gamers know it, and gamers are not considered like normies, quote unquote, but I would be like, oh, this is like what the typical gamer plays, you know. That's how it goes in my head. That's how it goes in my head. I know I'm being massively rude when I say that, so like don't hate me on me, guys. I'm very ignorant as a gamer, but that's how my brain processes it. But you know, like Fortnite, for example. Fortnite, I love playing Fortnite once in a while, but I consider it sort of like, I guess, a quote-unquote normie game because it's mainstream. It's like a mainstream game that like a lot of people play. So I guess like the term I should be using is mainstream, like mainstream gamers. But for me, it's like basically gacha games and stuff. I don't consider them mainstream because I guess it's because like I guess like weebs, we like to consider ourselves as degenerates. So we're like for me, I consider like my gacha games sort of like degenerate games.
I get it.
So you know, it's like kind of like funny. It's kind of funny in a way. Like my tastes are just very off sometimes. Like, I love games that basically my friends introduced me to because it's like, Repo is a good example. Like, I love Repo because it's funny, because it's like you're just playing as you're playing as like people that are trying to excavate a haunted house or a haunted castle, trying to get like items and try to meet a quota just because, oh, we found this rare hourglass or we found this rare pocket watch and we were getting money to sell it, you know, that sort of thing. Have you ever played Repo?
I have never seen it. I've never played it.
Repo is pretty fun. It's a fun, like I guess it's a game that you could consider a party game because like you can have about 6 people in a party, I think, and you're and your task in the game is to basically gather as much rare stuff in the haunted place as you can before the monsters come out.
But it's haunted place. That's funny.
Yeah, no, it's like there's monsters, there's ghosts, like they do crazy stuff to you. It's not even scary. It's just funny because when the ghosts get you, because you're not even like human beings. You're just like little robots. You're little robots that talk like the Canadians from South Park. That's literally what makes the game so funny. It's like you're just robots, just basically just talking to each other and just fooling around. Like, I guess like you can say it's like comparable to like having like the enjoyment factor of the game. It's like probably similar to what you would probably experience playing Among Us or something. Not like the gameplay, but the experience, like the fun experience.
It almost looks like a more silly version of Phasmophobia or something.
Yeah, something like that. But I think it's like not as scary as Phasmophobia. Phasmophobia, I think, is like it can be funny, but at the same time, it's just a lot more creepy because like, you know, obviously you got the graphics of the ghosts like grabbing you from behind and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm not really into horror games, but it's just I think like games like that, like, you know, Fall Guys is another example where you can have like your friends play with you, and you try to see who's the best at like each round of Fall Guys. That's also another one. I mostly like collab games a lot. I think with Fortnite, I love the fact that you can have like a team of 4 people and your friends play it. And I think like with the skins, it like basically allows you to play your favorite character if they have the skin. So that's another one.
So yeah, same. I'm not into horror games either. But
yeah,
I like watching them.
Oh yeah. Like watching.
I like watching like others play it. You know?
Oh yeah. I'm like the same way. I was like when I was a big I mean I still am a big Jacksepticeye fan, but like I haven't watched his recent videos lately. But like when I used to watch him a lot, I loved it when he played like horror games and I think like games that had a deep story to it. I loved watching him play it, so I was like, but the unfortunate thing is that now that I actually am a gamer, I can't play those games that he played because it's like, oh, I already know what happens.
Yeah.
But like they're like I think like there's like a big like barrage of like anime like style games that are reflected of like games that people play on the daily. Like there's this game called Anata. This is sort of like the gacha version of GTA.
GTA. Wow.
Yeah, it's literally gonna like they literally consider it as like the anime version of GTA, and and like for me, it's like whenever I see an anime version of a game that I think my friends played, like GTA or World of Warcraft or like another one is like Lost Ark, but there's an anime version of it called Crystals of Atlan. Like I was just so happy because it feels as if like, oh wow, I'm playing a game that gamers would play, but it's like an anime aesthetic, so it makes me feel like wow, I'm actually getting closer to what it means to be a mainstream gamer in some way.
I want to play that. I want to play anime GTA.
Yeah, so it's like pretty interesting, like how like I think like this upcoming year we're getting like a lot of like anime type games that are actually played like mainstream games, if that makes any sense.
I mean, it is slowly getting mainstream. So.
Yeah, like like I mean, there's like a lot. There's another game called Silver Palace. it's pretty cool. Like if you like look it up and see like the trailer, it's basically like an anime version of like I would have to say like somewhat like a mix with a little bit of not like Harry Potter, but a little bit like Victorian London, a little bit with a little bit of magic sprinkled into it. But the animation itself looked really cool, and I was like, wow, I can't wait for this game to come out. But you know,
so I can type it. I'm gonna type it.
Silver Palace.
Silver Palace.
It's also a gacha game.
Oh.
It looks really crisp.
Victorian, like you said, yeah. But there's also some like almost steampunky.
Yeah, it's like steampunk a little bit, yeah. It's like for me, whenever I try to look at games that are coming out this year, I always try to look for the ones that are like anime aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
I think it's because I grew up with anime and grew up like with like cartoons and stuff. That's why I want to play games that are like reflective of that.
Yeah,
like I remember when the new DuckTales game came out, like they actually kind of based it off like the old DuckTales games. My best friend let me play it on his console because it was only available on console. Like we managed to just beat the game like I think in one game sitting because it was just like based on the old school DuckTales games. So it wasn't that long.
Reminds me of like that one shooter game, the one that's like really hard.
Yeah.
I already forgot what it's called.
There's also like an anime
Cuphead. Cuphead.
Oh.
It's called Cuphead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like there's also an anime shooter game that I also like play from time to time. It's called Trinova. It's like a cross between I guess it's like a battle royale type of game, but it's just like funny because it's like it's a third-person shooter. At the same time, it doesn't play exactly like Valorant, but it's sort of
yeah,
like,
it looks like Valorant.
it has a similar kind of like aesthetic or feel to it. And like that's why I like playing it because it's like, oh, I'm playing like a game like this game, but it actually has like something that appeals to my taste. So for me, it's like I feel like I'm just like, let's say if someone wants to get the DVD of the actual movie, I'm like the one that basically buys the Chinese bootlegged version. That's how I feel with my games mainly.
I haven't played a shooter in a long time. I'm really bad at it, so I don't play it.
No, like sometimes my aim is like really bad in Fortnite. Like whenever I try to like snipe someone like playing Fortnite, like either the recoil like gets me or either I'm just bad at aiming.
Yeah.
It's usually like one of the two. More likely I'm like usually it's probably like my bad aim mainly.
I just watch other people play
Yeah.
and be good at shooters.
The one thing I'm disappointed about, like, I mean, like, getting back to, like, anime and, like, manga and stuff, right? Like, the thing that I'm happy about with, like, I went to Barnes & Noble, like, over the weekend, right? And, it's just so interesting how, like, light novels have become, like, a section in the shelves now. Because I remember
it's
back
growing.
then,
The manga section has grown.
Yeah, I remember back then there would be no... I would be lucky to find at least one light novel in there out of all the manga. Now, like, there's a whole section of light novels, and I'm like, wow, things have gone really a long way since I started loving anime and manga. And then the one thing that I'm disappointed about is the visual novel side of it. Because
even a visual novel side,
like
in Barnes & Noble?
No, like on Steam, right?
Oh,
like,
on Steam, yeah.
Like, you know, like, you would think that because anime is becoming a little bit bigger and manga is becoming a little bit more bigger, you would think that visual novels would actually be, like, a little bit more prevalent, or they would be, like, you know, like, a Steam version of, for, like, light novels, but, I mean, visual novels, but the way I see it is, like, whenever I go on Steam and look for a visual novel, it's either highly like, you know, like on the naughty side, if you get what I'm saying, or it's like horror based, and you know, I feel as if
in a sense, the golden age of visual novel has kind of it's already tapered. It's like it's like 10 years, 10 to 20 years ago is the golden age of it.
Yeah, and
And then like it just stopped making money, so like all these companies just went bankrupt.
And like it's funny because like on Steam, right, they have Witch on the Holy Night, which is like part of the Fate Stay Night series. They even have like Fate Stay Night remastered. The one thing that they don't have is Tsukihime, and I really want them to release Tsukihime because you already released the first.
Is the remaster even done for that?
Yeah, it's already done.
Oh, but it's not in.
It's not on Steam.
But to be fair, Steam is so like stringent when it comes to their like when it comes to visual novels and stuff.
I guess, but like
It's actually really bad.
Like, yeah, I guess, but the thing of it is that you have Witch on the Holy Night and you have Fate Stay Night remastered. That's still part of the Fate Stay Night universe. Like, you gotta have Tsukihime in there. Because, like, that's, like, the next biggest game next to Fate Stay Night. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing I'm kind of, like, disappointed about. But maybe it'll be released on Steam, like, eventually, but I just don't know when. You know?
It's just
like,
that Steam is very sensitive when it comes to like erotics. So a lot of the stuff they play it safe. Like Steam is very safe when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like,
I don't think so, because whenever I look at visual novels, there's a lot of revealing content.
Well, like Tsukihime, for example, is a lot more than what you would even imagine. Like it's not gonna pass Steam with the erotic scenes. They have to remove it. And usually the visual novels you get published in Steam are either already all ages, like Clannad is essentially, or it's a tapered version, like a watered down version where the companies delete the publishing companies would delete like the problematic scenes and then they'll try to like submit that to Steam. But sometimes Steam still blocks it.
Really? Because they have Honey Pop there. Honey Pop is also.
I know. That's some things they don't really have a clear guideline because Steam doesn't release those guidelines, right? So it's almost like RNG whether you're gonna get whoever is gonna review it.
Yeah.
Whether it passes or not.
Yeah.
But you're right. You get like, crazy games published in Steam, but like the others won't.
Yeah. Like I would like to have like a visual novel version of say like like Crunchyroll or something, where we can like actually have access to like visual novels like of different genres.
Well, it's kind of runs into like anime, how anime licensing is kind of similar to visual novels. Like you have multiple publishers that are vying to get the license for like a specific visual novel, right?
Yeah.
And those publishers then try, they have their own publishing like website or where they sell it, and then they also do it for Steam. They try to get it in Steam.
Right.
Just because Steam has like the monopoly. Essentially, if you want to make money in visual novel, you gotta get it in Steam. That's why it's like kind of terrible whenever a game gets like blacklisted by Steam, for example.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
But I know what you're saying. Like, it would be good if there was like a Crunchyroll, but Steam is it. It's just that like Steam is the Crunchyroll. It's just a little bit. They're just a lot more stricter.
Yeah.
To be fair though, like visual novel, it doesn't sell already.
Yeah.
Because the genre just gets outcompeted by like any other genre out there, like gacha and anime and manga and light novels.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of people like to read, right? So the way to compensate is you add like erotic scenes in there, so they become erogus essentially, and then which kind of makes it niche. It doesn't make it mainstream.
Yeah, I get that. I just like that. I think like the thing is that like we're lucky to have some on Steam, which I'm like glad about. Like I was starting to read this one visual novel. It's called Fault of the Milestone. Let me see here. Yeah, Fault Milestones 1.
Oh, Fault Milestone. Okay, I've read that one. I've read
I'm starting to read it a little bit. It's actually like
good story building, but I'm not sure what went on with it.
Because I know there's a
Well-
sequel.
Yes, there is a sequel too, but that is cliffhanger as well. So it's like
Oh.
I don't know what's happening. Whether it's the third one's being developed.
Uh-huh.
It's been a long time.
I see. I'll be right back, guys. Just give me 1 second. Rainer, do you want me to like leave you on to chat with chat, or do you want me to just put the be right back screen?
Go ahead and put the be right back.
Okay, I'll be back real quick. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry to keep you guys waiting.
Welcome.
Alright. So, where were we?
So yeah, so we were saying something about Fault Milestone, which, yeah, it's kind of a cliffhanger, but it's still, I'd still recommend, yeah, you read it. It's really good. World building. The world building in Fault Milestone is really good, in my opinion. Like, I can get immersed by like the fantasy world that they built in there.
Yeah, like I think I'm still in the beginning when they're like on the outer pole. So like I still have long ways to go for that. Oh, speaking of which, I did start watching the first movie of Kara no Kyokai.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Like
that.
I was like I don't know why, but I was putting it off for so long because I think whenever I watched it, I would not pay it fully attention to it, and then like I was like, okay, now I'm gonna sit down and actually fully pay attention to it. And
Are you doing it? Like you're doing like the first movie, second movie, because they're gonna be chronologically kind of.
I did like the first chapter. I did the first chapter. So yeah, it's the first movie. Yeah. I think like the next one is supposed to be like a murder mystery. So yeah, like the part 1 of the murder mystery. I think that's what it's gonna be. So I have to watch that next because I think there's like how many movies? Like 7?
7.
Oh, okay. Because all of them are supposed to like go into some like some sequence of order, right? Like basically one takes place because I think the next movie
Haruhi
is...
Suzumiya. Have you watched Haruhi Suzumiya?
Yes.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's
okay.
It's anachronological or whatever it's the term is.
Yeah, I think like the first movie takes place in 1998, and like the next movie is supposed to take place in 1995.
No, I meant like the episodes are not in order, so to speak.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're kind of like jumbled.
And I think Kara no Kyokai is also part of the Fate Stay Night universe.
It is. They share the same universe.
Okay. Was that also a visual novel?
Kara no Kyokai, no. Kara no Kyokai is a light novel, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Or novel.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it ever got ported to a visual novel.
Oh, okay. Because like I'm so used to thinking that like, you know, like because Fate Stay Night is a visual novel and like, you know, like Wish on the Holy Night is a visual novel and Tsukihime is a visual novel, I was thinking that it was also part of that pool.
Because Kara no Kyokai has that one character, the red-haired girl.
Yeah.
She's the sister of the Witch and the Holy Knight's protagonist.
Oh yeah.
And Tsukihime, well, In Tsukihime, she doesn't really show up, the one in Karen no Kyokai, but the sister does.
Okay. I see. Because
So yeah, so they are connected.
Because they all involve like something with magecraft, right?
Right. Yes. Because since they share the same universe, you have like the clock tower organization, which is like of mages and stuff in like London.
Yeah.
And then you have kind of like the church, the holy church.
Yeah.
And then you have like the supernatural beings essentially.
Oh, okay.
Vampires too, God knows.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, so just to drop in like what we meant there, guys, it's like a little bit of nerd knowledge there. Apparently they don't call it magic in the Fate Stay Night universe, they call it magecraft. They call it magecraft. They're like, they don't call it magic, they call it magecraft. Which I think is a really cool name, but at the same time it's like, it's like, what are you guys talking about? It's like, it's magic. That's basically what
One
it is.
thing I would say though is that the series definitely shares the universe, but I feel like they don't interact directly.
No, I don't think so. Because I think Witch and the Holy Night takes place before the Fate Stay, before the Holy Grail. Yeah, before the Holy Grail War, and I think Tsukihime. No. I think it's supposed to be Witch on the Holy Night, then Tsukihime, and then Fate Stay Night. I think that's how the order's supposed to go. And I think Kara no Kyokai, I think that's supposed to take place probably in the middle, or probably after Witch on the Holy Night, but I am not really sure though, because if
it's definitely after Witch of the Holy Night, I think.
Yeah, because Witch on the Holy Night I know takes place in the 1980s.
I haven't read it yet. I have it, but yeah. I know it's a prequel because Witch of the Holy Night is like when Aoko was still on their younger years.
Yeah.
She's already older.
Yeah, because I know Tsukihime is supposed to come after Witch and the Holy Night, because I know Aoko is supposed to show up for the main protagonist's childhood in Tsukihime. That I remember.
She's the one that gave the...
Which is why...
She appears right in the very, very beginning. She's the one that gave the glasses.
Yeah, which is why I want to read it so bad, because it's like, because it's remastered, I want to read it so bad.
Oh, speaking of which, that is kind of like the direct tie between Tsukihime and Kara no Kyokai, right? They both have the eyes.
Yeah.
But I think, if I remember correctly, it's slightly different. I don't remember what exactly the difference is between their eyes. Yeah. I think it's not the exact same.
Yeah, I get that.
It's like Shiki's eyes are like life.
Yeah.
And then like Ryogi Shiki, which is the female one, is like existence or something like that. So she could see lines of existence.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like after I watched like the first movie, I was like, interesting. Like it was pretty slow, but at the same time I was like, okay, like there's got to be something here. And like when I was watching it, I was like, okay, I see the appeal of this series now. Like, I will watch the next one, but at the same time, I'm like, it seems like they were trying to be very stylistic with like how they were showing everything. And I was like, okay, now I see why you like this. And I was like, okay, I'll probably like watch the next movie. To see
it's
what...
very aesthetic.
It does feel
good
aesthetic.
animation.
Yeah, it's something that I would watch actually, because it feels like it's stylized in a certain way, and I think that's what appealed to me. Like, you know, obviously it's very, very violent in its like execution, but at the same time, it just feels like an anime that's like kind of like it makes you want to think about it, and I think that's what I like about it.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it if you watch all seven. You know, to watch all seven of them.
Yeah, I just have to have
It picks up. It picks up for sure. Like the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. It starts slow as you get used to like the world.
Yeah.
But later on, they pick up because you're already familiar with the characters. And
yeah. But I think like because we were talking about like I guess the Fate Stay Night universe. I think that's why like I've grown to like Genshin and like the Hoyo universe, the Hoyoverse, as they call it, because like if you play like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and I don't know if they show it in Zenless Zone at all, but the 3 games that, like there's also another game called Honkai Impact the Third. Like the 3 games, like the first game was Honkai Impact the Third, the second was Genshin Impact, and the third one was Honkai Star Rail. The funny thing about these games is that it feels as if they're interrelated, because it seems like Hoyo is trying to make their own multiverse involving these games, but they just throw like kind of like Easter eggs on what they could be.
Oh, I see.
Cause like the lore about it is that like they go very deep into it. Like I would say like Harry Potter amount of detail deep, where it's like I think in Honkai Impact the Third they explained that they're like they involve a little bit of quantum mechanics, but they also involve a little bit of space-time involving it. And apparently like there's like a weird space-time dynamic where it's like, oh, we can have these universes connected with each other. So like with Genshin, like it's hard to see it with Genshin because it's supposed to be like I guess like more fantasy. It's not really like sci-fi like how Honkai Impact the Third and Honkai Star Rail is. But you can definitely tell that they take in some characters from Honkai Impact the Third and put them into Genshin. Like quite literally as well as figuratively. So like a lot of people really want the worlds to collide because they know they share the same multiverse. The problem is that
so they're gonna do it like MCU does, right?
Yeah, I mean they want that to happen, but like I don't think the creators at Hoyoverse are gonna do it because like obviously like they feel like if they start interconnecting their games together, they'll be like, oh, we might as well just make one game, but then people will just gravitate to that one game instead of playing the 3 that we already created,
Yep.
So, but but they all have their own individual stories that I really like. But Honkai Impact the Third I'm not too familiar with because I haven't played it. I just familiar with it because of Genshin. But Genshin's story, I think, is about to reach almost close to, like, I mean, it's supposed to end, like, I think in 2027. I think that's the timeline they put. It's either 2027 or 2028 that Genshin's storyline is supposed to end. And like a lot of people are excited for the next update for Genshin, which is taking place this Tuesday. Cause it's like yeah, cause from like one of the trailers we actually got the face reveal of a character that we have never seen their face for like 5 years since the game has came out. And like I think like this cycle we actually got like a face drop, like what they look like. So, it's like you've been watching like 5 seasons of a show and you finally get to see a character that you've been wanting to see or what they look like. It's like that. It's like that type of reaction, mainly.
Wow.
Yes. So that's why like
I don't play, but
yeah, no, it's like like when you watch a series and then you hear about this character in passing from the main characters. It's like
and then
they reveal what they look like, and you're like, oh my god, that's him, that's her. It's like that type of thing where it's like this character is gonna be epic, but you don't know exactly what makes them epic, and then like when you finally get the face reveal, you're like, oh my gosh. Things are gonna hit the fan soon because this character's on the scene, Yeah. And I think that's why I like Genshin Impact, as well as like Honkai Star Rail, because I think the reason why I like Honkai Star Rail is because even though it's turn-based, I do like the space-time like physics element within it because, like Genshin, it's more about like appealing to the Harry Potter side of me, while Honkai Star Rail appeals to the Doctor Who type of side of being,
I see.
Yeah. Because I think like the reason why I like physics and mathematics is because it appeals to like, I guess like a place where it's like I want magic to exist, but I know I can't physically exist until I actually learn the science. And then when I learn the science, you realize that, oh, there is magic in it, as long as you understand the knowledge. Like, does that make sense?
Yep, that makes sense to me. I mean, I'm one. I don't know, this is why I watch anime, because I
Yeah.
like the magic worlds, right?
Yeah.
Uh, like what was it? Magical Index or something like that, or Railgun. There's like an
Oh
anime
yeah.
series that
Yeah,
like
yeah,
combines kind of the two of it, because there's like a science side and there's like the magic side. Or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And
kind of
I
interesting.
yeah, and I think that goes back to like like this. I think like I wouldn't say colliding, but like this kind of like mixture of like spiritualism with science, or like spiritualism with like I guess like nature in a way, because it's funny because like with scientists you usually assume that they're going to be like people that are atheists that basically think, oh, we have to rely on what is already available, but we're not going to go push the frontier unless we get, I guess, like data to back it up. Whilst like with people that are spiritual, like that are very spiritual, you would assume that, oh, they're like very in tune with like nature and their body in the present. And like the point I'm getting at is like it's kind of interesting like how there would be times where I would be watching YouTube and there would be like I guess an astrophysicist on a spiritual journey talking to like a spiritual guru, and then they would probably throw out like a lot of knowledge facts about the universe to them, but then like the guru would probably be like, you say these facts, you say this data, but you're not allowing yourself to feel the essence of what it means, or does it mean anything at all?
Yeah.
It's like that type of thing, but the scientist really wants to, I guess, like embrace the spirituality of the science, but at the same time it feels as if like whenever they ask a question that involves the unification of the two, it seems like, oh, we're just asking too many questions when we shouldn't be. It's like that type of thing. Like, I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, I think it's similar to, like, say, like, certain scientists believing in religion.
Yeah. I mean, science doesn't mean you don't believe in religion.
Or don't have faith in anything.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, the science itself has its own like scientific method or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like things have to be replicated and whatnot. But yeah, I do feel like obviously being there are a subset of like if you're into science, it leads you to become an atheist because you can't prove the existence of God or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was a huge like atheist movement back in like the 2000s, 2010s. Richard Dawkins was like in his prime.
Yeah.
And like Christopher Hitchens.
Yeah.
I remember watching some of their videos.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. I remember both of them. Like, I think like Christopher Hitchens was like a little bit more vocal in his stance about like atheism, I think, before he passed. But like I think Richard Dawkins was sort of like, if you just talk to him, then yeah, he would probably say it, but he's not like screaming to the rooftops that like, oh, you shouldn't believe in God or anything. I think when he talks about it, he just brings up an argument, like it's like, why should I believe in it because you're telling me to believe in it, Like that's what usually I think he brings it up. I mean, that's what I've seen though, but like I don't know if he's basically been like on par where it's like, oh, you shouldn't believe in this because of, these facts or whatever. I've never seen him take that stance. But, yeah, like, I do get what you mean. Yeah, I did notice that, like, there was a big insurgence of, like, people that were willing to say that they were atheists.
That was much back in the day, though, and I feel like it kind of did taper. Like, I don't think they're as big nowadays as they used to be. But yeah, religion, I feel like it's always going to be part of human life because it serves a purpose. That's why.
Yeah, it serves a purpose for some people's lives, like that's why, like I say, it takes more courage to have faith in something that you can't see, feel, or touch, because it's your belief. And like it's the same thing with me when it's like, I believe in the universe, I believe in the multiverse, but like, we don't have any scientific data that proves the multiverse exists. why do I believe it? And it's like I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like it just makes more sense to me. Like, other than saying that the wave function collapses and we only have one universe, and thus one set of events is going to take place in this universe.
To be fair, I guess it always comes back to a question that's like, I guess in your case,
Yeah.
it feels inconsequential to the people around you or to the world around you whether you believe in that, like the multiverse or not, because
Yeah.
I don't feel like it really will affect the things around you.
Yeah.
It's more beliefs that do affect the society at large. That's kind of a more controversial topic to discuss, right? Like, if someone believes in, you know, they don't like homosexuality, for example, because they justify it based on like their religion, then that's something that affects their opinion. Therefore, it affects like their treatment of others, or it affects the way they view society and what laws they want to pass and whatnot.
Like, I mean, like, when I was in college, I never thought that I would actually talk to someone that was like against gay marriage.
No,
and that really did shock me when I like heard that someone would say something like that.
Did you do it in college in Rutgers?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
I didn't know that.
Like I met someone that basically had a stance on it, but they weren't very vocal about it.
That's interesting. I would have like picked their brain, you know.
Yeah, so like the thing of it is that like you know, like for me it's like I believe you live life the way you feel is right for you, and like there's no guidebook on to like tell you how to live your life. Like, you know, we do love reading books like on self-improvement and whatever, like, you know, whether it be your finances, whether it be your health, or whether it be just your mindset too. And you know, there's going to be multiple different diverse ways of living your life. And you know, if you're not hurting others and you're living life the way you feel like is right for you, you know, that's the way you live. As long as you're not hurting others or like, you know, being, you know, a nuisance to people, I wouldn't say that that's wrong, like, for you to live. Like, if you're just living your best life and you're happy and you're not being a hindrance to others or putting people down, I would say, like, yeah, keep living the life that allows you to lift up others, that allows you to lift up yourself. Then that's basically how life is meant to be lived, you know, enjoying the present moment, just uplifting everybody, including yourself.
Right, sure. Yeah, that's definitely the more optimistic, I would say. It's like, I guess the controversy is always on the flashpoints, right? When someone believes on, and then it's like, it's one thing to believe, say, like against gay marriage, for example, but there's also like, how does that affect gay marriage in actuality? For example, do they vote? If they vote for anti-gay marriage, for example, or they actively don't support something that they view as, you know, they view against their religion or whatever. I mean, you know, it's controversial for sure. Like,
I think it's like, like there's a lot of topics that are considered controversial and all that. Like, you know, like some of my friends, like, they've been very vocal about like, if they were to have a kid and their kid wanted to have, like, you know, if their kid was transgender, like, I've had a friend that basically say they would never pay for their kid's surgery if they were like that.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, it surprises me, but at the same time, it's like, you know, these people will exist. You know, there will be people that will like not, I guess, agree with that certain circumstance. I mean, that certain stance on life, you know, and like, for me,
it's tricky because if it's like, if the kid is a minor, for example, right? So obviously, there's a lot of like, it's hard, right? Because like, if you want to transition, it's best to do it when, like, right before puberty hits, so you minimize the effects of the other.
But this is a topic that probably we're not like experts on, so we're not gonna act like we're experts on it.
Nope.
But like, you know, like if you guys are like more educated on this, like basically that, you know, like if you're part of the LGBTQ community, you know, like you can basically school us once this podcast gets on YouTube, like you can basically like tell us in the comments on how much we're wrong or like how much like we're messing up on this. Like that's why I'm not gonna act like I'm an expert on the whole entire thing
I don't know
about that. Because like it's really tough when it comes to like social issues, and I think like we lose track of like the good parts of people, even though they have different viewpoints, and like like some people will be like, oh, they're against this, then how can you say that they're a good person? Or like they believe in this idea, how can you think that they're like genuine in being good to you if they don't believe what you believe, that sort of thing. And I think it's because like we're so used to basically saying, because they don't believe in this, they must be all evil, or because they do this, then they must be like all evil, or something like that. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people see this big divide, whether it be in politics, society, or just like in their own community. I
guess it's not necessarily that. I mean, if you think of like the perspective of the child, that's the parents are not gonna spend for their transitioning if you have a kid like that.
Oh yeah, like one of my friends basically
Right?
said, one of my friends basically said, I'm not spending that much money on like my kid to transition.
They're not necessarily evil, I don't think, right? It's just that like obviously from the perspective of the child, they're probably, it's like, it affects them, obviously.
Yeah.
It affects like their decision, their opinions affect the child in the child's perspective.
Yeah.
So
it's a very like touchy subject, I think, because because one, the parent has to actually acknowledge the fact that, oh, my child doesn't think they belong in this body, right? And like from a parent's perspective, it's like you either accept it or like you choose not to accept it, and like the worst of the two, like you end up in this conflict and you're wondering like, how should I view this? Because like first you thought you were raising someone that was one gender, but it turns out they feel like they belong as another gender, or maybe not even clarify the gender at all, in that regard, so it's like, it's pretty like, I think for me it's like I look at it in a different way. It's like how people like basically don't want to be classified as different genders anymore. I think of it as sort of like the merging of knowledge, because like when you think of knowledge itself, right, you don't have bodies, you don't have one consciousness, you have a blending of different things. Definitions don't make sense because the knowledge is just so wrapped up in like not even something, it's wrapped up in everything, but you don't know what is which. So for me, I look at it as like like when we have things like no gender, or like people clarifying they're male or female or something like that, I look at it as sort of like we humans are trying to bring out the abstraction of knowledge and try to bring it into our daily lives. It's just harder for people that are so used to categorizing things that they can't transition from that system, because where else is there? It's just knowledge that's just spewed out everywhere. It's like you're in a world and there's nothing but words and paragraphs everywhere, but you don't know what they connect to. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think of it as sort of like we're transitioning from like I guess this is gonna go into a little bit of a spiritual hocus pocus, but I think of it as sort of like we're going into a realm where it's like the definitions are not solid, and we're going closer to, I guess, something like that's close to a subconscious like type of realm, when we're trying to think about like things like, oh, I'm not defined as this gender, or I'm not defined as any gender, I'm basically just part of everything, the world, nature, and the universe, I think of it that way. That's more of a spiritual way of like viewing it, and I think that's how it makes me feel as if, okay, this is probably the next step in human evolution, in a way. Because if you think of it that way, it feels as if, wow, we're actually evolving beyond like just regular humans. Like we're probably gonna transition into like humanoids with like basically metal plates, like metal plates in our arms, like we're gonna be like cyberpunk, like cyberpunk. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're saying this much about like say people in like in different different groups, Imagine how we're gonna say about people that like, oh, you have an AI in your brain, get away from me, cyber brain, or like, you know, like, oh, you have like a cybernetic eye, you know, like get away from me, Cyclops, you know, that sort of thing. It's gonna be the same type of crud, but just different dynamics or different like different ways of like people think it's gonna be like I think you're weird because you have this biotechnic brain that allows you to keep memories longer. That means you get to study it. You get to study without the tiredness because you remember the thing you read in the book. it's
Is like the thing with Elon Musk and like the brain chips and that allows like people that are paralyzed to be able to like talk and like do stuff?
Yeah, that's where like, you know, technological revolutions come in because they believe that
cool.
Yeah, it's for like the greater, like for them it's like this is meant to happen. We're meant to have technology to help us, but there are going to be people that basically says, no, AI is taking over, it's a bad thing, it's going to be Skynet, it's going to be like, they're going to make us puppets and all that stuff. You know?
Yeah, it's like very interesting how just based on brain waves that they can like do like talk and all of that.
Oh yeah, like I remember Stephen Hawking, he had a chip in his glasses just to basically allow him to talk through the computer with, instead of like I think like the old system he had was like he had to like literally like press buttons, I think, but then like eventually, since he wasn't able to move his hands, he literally had a chip in his glasses to basically read his face movement to basically type the computer for him.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it doesn't surprise me that we're gonna get like, say, if you were to say that we're gonna get like a pacemaker for the brain to basically say like Alzheimer's disease is gonna be a thing of the past because we're gonna have a pacemaker in your brain to keep all the memories that you have, instead of like you having to rely on your brain that's like degenerating from Alzheimer's, you know. Like I believe that future's coming, you know, and I think like because of like Moore's law is like slowly you know, slowly kind of like declining because like, you know, with I think the lack of was it silicon or something?
Yep, a lot of silicon. Yeah.
Yeah, like we're lacking like silicon, and they have to find a new way to build new
Apparently,
technologies.
China has all the rare earths that we are gonna need.
Isn't that also in Ukraine too? Like some of the rares?
Not as much, but
Not as much.
there are some in there.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Like China holds like gallium, for example, and it's like a huge amount of it.
I see. Like the thing is that
China is 98% of gallium and 91% of germanium.
Oh wow.
That it's literally the whole entire like market.
Yeah, I feel like we're also going to expand on the periodic table because we already expand on it with like
I think right now it's 118, right?
Yeah, because I think like they discovered like elements when we were in school. I don't remember what they discovered. I think it was called like one of them was like named after Japan, wasn't it?
I'm gonna check right now.
Yeah, like I'm not really sure, but I feel like there was one that was called Japanium or something like that. I don't
The
remember.
naming on some of these like layer ones are very interesting.
Because I think we discovered like what, like 3 or 2 metals that were like,
Laurentium.
yeah. I don't remember how recent their discoveries were though.
Plutonium.
Yeah, right now Rainier's doing some research. He's doing research on like what latest additions that we made to the periodic table.
So, I guess the heavier elements are just very rare, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. It says the last discovered was 1939, but it's francium, so it's... Last element added is oganesson, atomic number 118, which was synthesized in 2002.
When was it discovered?
Well, the last synthetic one, which is
Yeah.
118th, which is the last one in the periodic table, is
Yeah.
synthesized in 2002.
2002. Okay.
Yeah, naturally occurring element is
Yeah.
francium, atomic number 87,
Okay.
and that was 1939.
Yeah, I think like the additions like to the periodic table were like synthetically made, I think.
Yeah. They were,
Yeah.
which makes sense, I guess, because like, yeah, like the heavier it is, the harder it is to form
Yeah.
naturally.
Yeah. Um, but I think like we'll be adding like probably one or two, like probably like little by little, because like there's always going to be that inventor that's going to be like, if only we had a metal that can sustain this amount of energy, or this that can revolutionize going beyond lithium or something. And lo and behold, they usually find a way, and it ends up revolutionizing like the industry. Because I feel like batteries, like once they're able to like make batteries that that last longer than lithium and not as dangerous, like I think like that is when like technology is probably gonna like try to probably end up skyrocketing, because then once you overcome the lithium battery limit, I think that's when like things are gonna start like probably like popping up a little bit quicker when it comes to technology in a way. I mean, that's my hypothesis, but you know, don't quote me on like whether I'm wrong about things, because I'm more likely going to be wrong. I will say that for sure, guys. But yeah, I do believe like I believe we humans are on the right track. It's just that I feel as if like because like the reason why we feel like there's so much conflict in the world is because I feel like we're in a transition phase and nobody knows where the transition phase is going. And everyone's looking for somebody else to give them the answers, whether it be in the finance market, or whether it be in technology, or whether it be in global or geopolitical politics, you know. Nobody knows where it's going to go, and like nobody can predict the future. It reminds me of a book that I was reading. I probably should get back to reading it. It's called How Not to Invest, and like, and the whole beginning of the book is just basically the author saying that, oh, this person that basically is an expert in this particular market, they got it wrong on, like, say, for filmmakers, they got wrong about kung fu. They thought kung fu was not going to be popular, but then it turned out to be popular. One example they brought up is John Wick. They thought John Wick was not going to be a box office hit, and then lo and behold, like 5 movies later, it's a box office hit. So like the whole point, I think, in the first half of the book, I didn't finish it, is that every expert in any market, no matter where you look, they're going to be wrong at some point. So you should never listen to anybody, even the experts on, like, say, like the finance channels. They will say that this particular asset will go up, but then something happens and it doesn't go up, or they say the market's gonna crash, and then basically the market doesn't crash. So, you know, like, what I got from that book so far, I think the reason why I haven't read it profusely is because the whole entire beginning is just him pointing out examples of when experts were wrong, and I was like, can we get to the point, please?
It's like those guys that predict, like, oh, it's gonna be a recession or it's gonna crash, and they always predict it every time.
Yeah.
And it never happens until it does.
Robert Kiyosaki. I swear, like, that guy basically predicts that the market's gonna crash and it never crashes. I'm like, bro.
I was like, when is it gonna crash?
Yeah, it's like, when it's gonna crash. I want it to crash so bad. Because, like, rich people, they want the market to crash because they want to get, like, a discount on everything they can buy. But it's like, it really sucks because, like, a lot of people end up losing a lot of, like, opportunities because when the market crashes. But then it's, like, opportunities for rich people to basically, like, come in and just buy stuff out.
Yeah.
But, you know, unfortunately, that's the system that we grew up with. And a lot of people say that this system has to change from something, but nobody knows what, right? So, like, yeah, like, what's the system afterwards? Because I think what people are afraid of is, like, they're afraid of changing too fast, where there's a void and we don't know what the void is going to be filled with. And some people are like, no, who cares about the void? Because once we change it, we're actually going to go to the change, but we don't know what that change is. And I think that's what people are kind of concerned about, is that it's like many people that basically say we should do away with government because it's not working. So we have to change it with something. But the people that worry about the change is like they're afraid of this void being created where it's like we fight civil wars and like people it's like it's like the purge, right? It's like what happened with like other countries like I think Afghanistan, for example. Like when I think we got like I don't remember which country it was, but I think like what happened was is that once we got rid of the government that was not serving the people, there was a void where people didn't know who to trust in that new system, right? Or if there was a system to begin with. And then like once the US left, like everyone felt like, wow, we're trapped here, you know?
Yeah, it's gotta be Afghanistan, probably.
Yeah. Hey Sasha, how's it going? Yeah, I think what people worry about is the transition, because like people are worried about the transition with AI, for example. They're worried about their jobs being taken, and then they're like, oh, I don't have the mental capacity to learn a new skill, or I don't have time for that, because like my job is not replaced yet. But at the same time, it's like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what to study. I don't know what to focus my money to basically invest in myself for. Yeah. And, you know, like all these different things is a conundrum for anybody. And if you have a family, then that's worse, because one, you have to take care of your family, and two, do you have time to actually learn a new skill? And what does it take to learn that new skill? How much money is it going to cost? It's like all these opportunity costs gets much worse the more you have people relying on you. So it's like I don't know what to do. And that's why people are afraid of the transition. Some people are embracing the transition because either they put their money in a resource that they think is going to lead them to wealth and riches, and they think that that's the way to go, and they get into this bubble where it's like they believe that, oh, everything's revolving around this niche that I put my time and effort and money into. But then they don't see the outside of like when people are like, oh, what is that thing you were into? Like AI, crypto, what was it? And they still have no clue what it is. So it's like they're trapped in their own bubble and thinking that it's gonna go up or something like that. And they get like these different news broadcasts that basically clarify their own point of view. So, like, I think that's the reason why people feel uncertain, is because they get so many of these, like, there's so much noise that they feel as if, like, oh, I have a good filtering system to filter out the noise. Or they feel as if I don't have a filter for the noise. Someone give me noise that makes sense, you know? Like,
I hear ya. That's why you have all these, like, finance channels that are, like, you know, Graham, Stephen, or whatever.
Yeah, even though I'm into personal finance, I don't want to be a finance channel because, one, if I get a sponsor and that sponsor it goes bankrupt, or they like end up screwing over the people that I basically spread the news to basically sponsor their product for, I don't want to get the responsibility of that.
Isn't there a controversial one like Honey or something that hit the they hit like the trash taste people? They sponsored like Honey. It was something about like,
oh yeah, like Honey,
an e-commerce thing, and that they were gonna, I don't remember what the service was about.
I think like Honey was basically providing discounts for people.
Yes.
And apparently they were sending them links that basically didn't give them discounts at all, or like didn't give them the right discount that they said they were going to give them. And that was pretty messed up. That was pretty messed up. And not only that, like the creators that were sponsoring them, they didn't get paid for like basically the links that they would use, because it would immediately change. I think the link would probably immediately change after they clicked it, and then the creators weren't compensated for that. And I thought, wow, that is so messed up.
It was scummy.
Yeah, and like, you know, that's why like with affiliate marketing, I understand the power of it. The thing of it is that is it in the right hands? Like, hey, Dr. Tom, how's it going? But I feel as if like with like affiliate marketing, there's a ways to like make it strengthen people to make their own business, but at the same time, it could be abused. And we always hear more of the stories of it being abused, you know? And that's the thing that sucks about it. And I think, like, with AI coming in, the reason why people say we should have, like, universal basic income is because the smart people said it because they know their job is completely off. They're like, no, it makes sense because I didn't think about it until someone pointed out. It's like, why do you think, like, the biggest CEOs, like, basically said that AI, we need universal basic income when AI was coming? Because they weren't saying that when the factory jobs were being replaced. They're saying it because they know that AI is gonna totally, like, outsmart them. That's the reason why they're saying it, because they know they're gonna be on the chopping block next.
True.
So, like, you know, like, yeah, there is self-interest, but at the same time, it's like, I feel as if, like, a lot of people, right, because of the society we lived in and the economic system we have, a lot of people feel like they have to constantly chase the dollar or chase the whatever currency they need because they need that to survive. And I get it. And I get it because when, like, you know, people felt like, oh, when I work hard, I get rewarded for my hard work. But they think of the reward as basically being able to survive. But now I think we're in a transition phase where it's like, yeah, we need money to pay for services and stuff and to make sure that we're not trading goats and not trading cows for a piece of, like, a piece of furniture. But at the same time, I feel as if now people actually have to develop and develop intent with what they do. Because I think with the intent before, it was like, oh, we can just wave money in front of their face and basically have them go on the fishing reel for it. But now I think we have to find a better motivator for like people to start. For
people in general, yeah.
For people in general to start working, because
the quiet quitting of the Gen Z generation.
Yeah, because, like, I think the reason why, like, I understand why baby boomers don't get it, and I understand why people in Gen Z are having a hard time to convince people that of the past generations why working hard doesn't work. And, like, I've said this on the podcast many times, I don't believe we live in a meritocracy. Absolutely not. Because, like, I've seen people, like, some of my friends, too, that they've worked very hard, but at the same time, like, they're not getting to where they want to be because of their circumstances. Now, is it their fault? Not really. They are responsible, but at the same time, it's not entirely their fault, you know? It's just that, like if life was just basically just working hard, everybody would get to where they are based on, like, the amount of hard work they put in. Now, some people would basically, like, then you're basically saying people are being successful because of luck. And I'm like, yeah, I truly believe that. I truly believe that if you're...
opportunity.
Yeah, it's like luck, opportunity, and choice. Like, it's your choice to, like, work hard on something that you feel passionate about. It's your choice to work hard for the dollar. And people would rather work hard for money because they know they can survive that way. But I think because of the transition with, like, people knowing, like, you know, inflation's up, how governments fail because of inflation, and because we're more informed, like, I guess because of the data that's available on the internet. I'm not gonna say people are more informed because there's too much noise. and people are getting mixed signals of what actually considered as facts. And especially myself too, like, you know, I tried my best to filter out the noise as much as possible, so I try to look at different avenues of, like, how to look at things. Dr. Tom basically says, so informed, they're misinformed. Right, yeah. Yeah, that's the noise. That's basically all the noise. It's basically... all the noise. It's like, so informed that they're misinformed, right? But... yeah, I feel as if, like, whatever you feel in your gut, that's gonna play a factor whether you believe it or not. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how much knowledge you know, or how experienced you are. Your gut is basically gonna be the first indicator to see what is right for you in your life. And the thing of it is that people think that, oh, I have to make my life be congruent with everyone else. It's true to an extent, but it's a half-truth, because I think, like, for me, I usually think that if you're right by yourself, like, if you feel like you're right spiritually, you're balanced, and you're willing to do, I guess, the quote-unquote hard things, but have the right mindset to look at it positively and, like, acknowledge that the present is not going to be just like stuck in like suffering, or like suffering within your own mind and spirit, I think that's when you basically are able to embrace others and allow others to feel like your own essence of what your spirit can offer to everybody else. I know that sounds like a bunch of like spiritual mumbo jumbo, but that's how I feel about it. It's like you're right by yourself spiritually and emotionally, as well as knowledge and like health wise. I feel like your energy is going to spread towards everybody that you come in contact with.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people basically, like people that are into self-reliance, they basically say you got to take care of yourself and watch out for yourself. But the thing of it is that with the people that are into the self-reliance camp, they basically take it to the extreme where it's like you can only rely on yourself and only yourself, and you basically work hard for yourself because it will be in your self-interest. But they get so into teaching you about doing things for your self-interest, they don't realize that you actually have to connect with others as well.
Yep.
And that's the thing that kind of like bothers me when people talk about like hard work like pays off or anything like that. Like I'm saying, like work hard, but work hard on things that basically you feel like will help expand your world. And like many people were like, well, money will allow me to purchase this and that and everything like that, and that will expand my world. But at the same time, does it expand you spiritually? Does it expand you like beyond just like money troubles or money issues or bills? Does it expand beyond that? And if the answer is no, then why would people give you more money, right?
No one is an island, as they say.
Yeah, no one's an island.
Society.
Like businesses, right? Why do good businesses stay in business? It's because they have this objective goal and they know what they're putting their money into most of the time. And like it's kind of funny because like the small companies, they're willing to take the bigger risk to expand their business, but then when they become a big corporation, that's when they stop expanding and they have a lot of money to do what they want with it. But they choose not to expand on a new idea or anything. And like I think the reason why people like in society feels like that the rich are hoarding their wealth is because when you get to a certain point and like you could practically say like $1 billion is FU money, they choose to leave it stay in the safe instead of actually using it to either create another business that can create a new job market, or say like they try to create a new wheel from scratch, but they choose not to because it's like, no, this money is going to stay in our vault and it's going to stay in our vault forever.
That's very bleak.
And it's kind of funny because I think in podcasts that I've seen, they basically say, no, we need the big corporate businesses to be riskier again. Like the ones that actually have money, like say Amazon, for example, we need them to take much riskier business moves to actually revolutionize with their wealth. You know? Because that's why I think a lot of people feel like that the money is not going anywhere, because the people that already made a lot of money and they have this flow already, they are not utilizing that money to basically create other things. And I think that's the reason why people feel like that they're not getting enough, because the money's not being spread out, like, you know, like how blood goes through the body.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think for another state, like honestly, like I never really thought about it, to be honest with you, because I feel as if like I like where I live, so it's like I've kind of grown accustomed to like staying where I live. Like I think if it comes to like another state or something, I would just basically travel there. I wouldn't like consider like going anywhere else, to be honest with you. I would probably just like go there just to visit, but not really to like live. But I think it's probably like, you know, me just being too comfortable where I live. So, you know,
sense.
because like I'm like really like my town is like very, very diverse, and they have like a lot of stuff that I could probably go to New York for. At the same time, like I would probably go to New York for like things like conventions and stuff, but nothing like majorly like I guess like majorly like upscale, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting being next to New York City and having the access to that train system that will take you to bigger cities. I was just sick of the urban concrete, to be honest.
Yeah.
After like being there for like 15 years, right? Like, Garden State Parkway, 6 lanes, still hitting traffic, 10 miles per hour. Like, what is going? It's just so many people,
Yeah.
so many buildings.
Let's see. NJ is a good state to buy from dog breeders from from your personal experience. Oh, okay. I see.
For dog breeders,
Dog breeders. Yeah, I think like I've heard about that too because like a lot of people love animals. I didn't know that NJ was like good for dog breeders though. That's like new to me.
Interesting. New Jersey feels like one of those forgettable states, you know?
Yeah, like it's funny that we're also it's also funny because we're the most hated state.
Everyone just thinks of New York and Pennsylvania.
I never understood why, and I would basically like, why are we the most hated state? Did we offend everybody? Like that's the one thing I never understood, and like I had to ask my friends that are also from Jersey. It's like, yo, I'm not street smart or whatever, but why is it that a lot of people don't like Jersey? And like when I hear from other people, they basically say, oh, like you guys come off as very standoffish or like very sarcastic, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like I would always remember what Jon Stewart said in one of his skits. Like I think the segment was that people in the Board of Education were slashing tires to people that would like expose what's going on in the school system. And then basically, when she said that the tires would, like someone would flatten your tires, and then Jon Stewart was like, in New Jersey, that's considered a compliment. And I would be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. People in New Jersey try to act tough in ways that we probably shouldn't. Let's see, Nicole basically said, well, New Jersey sure doesn't help the reputation for Jersey. Yeah, that's also true. Like, I never understood the Jersey accent because I was like, do I even have one? And I didn't realize that I had like a little bit of it when I went to Cali, and like my cousin's now wife, or now partner, I should say, basically she asked me, could you say water for me? And I said water, and apparently like she was like, oh, you don't say the T? And I'm like, oh, apparently I don't. I never realized that I did not do that because we say water, but I think like in other like areas they would say with the T, like water, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
One thing I'd say is that like when I first came to the Midwest and I interviewed for my current supervisor, right?
Yeah.
I thought that when she was asking me questions, she had the like very thick Midwestern accent.
Yeah.
That was when I first met her, right?
Right.
Nowadays, whenever I listen to her, I'm like, this is normal. This like it's almost like I acclimated to the accent. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't hear the accent anymore that when I first used to. So I guess it's gonna be similar in a sense that like, yeah, I do wonder if I have an accent or if I meet someone from New Jersey, whether I will pick up that, hey, you're from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Because maybe I've acclimated to the Midwest.
Right. Yeah. Nicole says, I also drove once to Jersey to MedLife from New York. Yeah. Like I never knew the MedLife was like that popular until like I think like I started to get to know more people outside of Jersey.
What is that, MedLife?
I think it's like the stadium, like where they have like, the concerts and stuff. Yeah, Shakira was the only reason I drove that far and paid like $40 for parking. Yeah.
Life Stadium.
Yeah.
Where's that? Rutherford looks like, or like north of Hoboken.
I don't remember. Somewhere around that area. Yeah, I think it's like more northern Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that side.
Like, yeah, like when it comes to Jersey, I don't even know what's like famous here, besides like, cause like we're literally like you either go to New York or you either go to Philly.
That's well, the fat sandwiches had a reputation, right? The Rutgers fat sandwiches.
Yeah, but that's more like a local thing. Like I don't know like what is like I guess something that most people from out of state would actually come to visit here.
It's the shore. It's the Jersey Shore. It's the reality.
I guess you would probably go to Atlantic City and just basically
Atlantic
go to the casino.
City.
Like go to the casinos. I guess that's the only thing that I think that people would come to Jersey for. Because, like, I'll be like, why are you in Jersey? Are you here to visit family or something? That's my first assumption. I never would think of them coming to Jersey for vacation. Besides if it's, like, Atlantic City or something.
Yeah.
It's the same, like, when people go to Vegas. It's like, oh, well, like, what brings you to Vegas? It's like the casinos.
Oh. Yeah, the noodle shop that we used to go to is still open, huh?
Oh,
forgot
like,
what they're called.
oh, yeah, like, the one close to our university, right?
Yeah, the College Avenue.
I don't think any of those businesses, they'll probably get updated, but I don't think they're gonna go out of business because there's a lot of college students in that area.
I love that Chinese restaurant. That was really good, and they're
Yeah.
open to like 1:30.
Yeah, they're open. Like, I think they get more business that way because they know a lot of college students just go there.
So good.
Like, anything around a college campus, they're probably just gonna make a lot of money because either they're gonna have like a lot of students coming in for like late because they were studying late at the library, or they're gonna have a lot of rich students just coming in every night because they can afford it.
I miss my time there. That shit was a blast.
Yeah, I miss it too. Actually, the thing of it is that I kind of wish that I was, if money wasn't an issue, I would probably like studied there for a lot longer than I would probably have to.
Oh, you mean like either a 50 or like a PhD or a master's kind of thing?
Honestly, I don't know. I would probably just end up like getting like bachelors left and right.
Oh, double bachelor's. I see.
Like I would probably just like learn enough classes, like, and then basically it's like probably the faculty would be like, you know, you have enough courses to basically fulfill this degree. You know that, right? So it's like, so I was like, oh, really? I did not notice. I was just taking these classes because I was so interested in the subject. That's how I am, because like if I were to say my ideal rich life, right? Like, let's say universities weren't expensive as they are now. Let's say if like you pay like just basically a classroom fee, right, instead of like a university fee, right? I would practically be at the university like practically the whole entire day, because it's like, oh, I'm going to a class to learn something, and I'm trying to update like my knowledge. But at the same time, people will be like, what are you going to use that knowledge for? It's like, I don't know, but it's just cool to learn all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's usually how I am. It's like, if education was like free and easy access, that's when I usually just learn whatever I can.
Truly yogurt's still in there.
Yeah. Jersey has a bigger waves than my beaches, which is why I go to Connecticut beaches. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Jersey, my experience with Jersey beaches is it's cold as heck.
Yeah, it is pretty cold. Yeah, it's pretty cold. Okay, it's 10 o'clock, Rainier. It's about that time.
Oh, no. Oh my god.
I mean, do you want to still continue on, or do you feel like we should cut it?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and kind of like ease into ending it.
Okay. Well, first I want to thank you, Rainier, for like joining me today. That was really awesome.
Thank you.
So
It's always interesting to hear from you.
I felt like we like talked a lot. In addition, that I felt like I ranted a lot, like always.
I love when people rant, to be honest. Okay.
But yeah. So also
I get
everyone.
to hear I get to hear a part of your soul.
Yeah. Also, like everyone in chat, thank you for joining us tonight. It was great having you guys in the chat and giving your input and everything like that. But do you have anything to say to chat before we depart, Rainier?
No, just stay healthy, guys, and enjoy life. Tell us next time we do this again. Tell us what anything interesting that happened in your life, or any interesting shows that you guys have seen, or animes and whatnot. So I'm always interested to hear.
Okay, guys. Rainier said his piece. Now I'll say mine. Always remember, everyone is precious. You guys are just as precious as everyone else. And we will see you guys, hopefully the next second Monday for the next podcast. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Second Monday. Bye-bye.